This conference will now be recorded.
Hey everybody, it's Thursday at 2:30. It is time for our Monday through Thursday podcast. Once again, I'm very excited about the podcast today. I was very excited yesterday. I cannot tell you how many times I've read this letter from the Rear Admiral. And for those of you who don't know, and I was in that category of those who didn't know, I had to look it up myself. A Rear Admiral is the highest ranking um, military official, Navy official, Navy, Coast Guard, Public Health Service during peacetime. There are no admirals, there are no commanders during peacetime. So a rear admiral is the highest ranking official during peacetime, and this letter is signed by a rear admiral. So the good news, the best of the good news. There's several layers of good news. The best of the good news is we're coming in at a high level here. Okay, if you look at the letter closely, you'll see three names. Okay, you'll see the person who wrote and signed the letter, Rear Admiral Bina, and then there below you'll see William K. Marshall III, Director, and Joshua J. Smith, Deputy Director. These are the three people that basically run the Bureau of Prisons. So we came in at the top. We're in dialogue at the top. That takes work. That doesn't happen by accident. These are people who are, everybody wants their attention, particularly if you're in, the healthcare industry and you want to sell something to the Bureau of Prisons, or the food industry, or the incarcerate. I mean, everybody wants to talk to these guys. Okay, and we're talking to them. Okay, and the reason we're talking to them is because of the letter there on the right that I wrote to Attorney General Bondi. I didn't know this, and maybe some of y'all did, maybe you didn't. But it's the Attorney General that oversees the Bureau of Prisons. Makes sense, makes total sense. Makes total sense that the Department of Justice would oversee the Bureau of Prisons, but I never thought about it. As you can see in the letter, I had oh my gosh, it was over 10 years ago. I hosted a fundraiser for uh, um, Attorney General Bondi, who was then the Attorney General of Florida. In return, I got invited to the inauguration. If I walked into a room, I'm not sure she'd recognize me, uh, but I'm sure she would remember the fundraiser. Uh, but the point being, um, I'm reaching out to the Attorney General Bondi as a supporter, because frankly, I don't want to see her or the current administration get in trouble and have this pinned on them. They inherited this problem. Okay, the last administration could have taken care of this problem. We submitted to the FDA in September will be 3 years. Let me say that again. We submitted to the FDA in September will be 3 years. The last administration could have taken care of this problem. They didn't. They buried it. And I don't want to see it come around and blow up in the face of the current administration. Okay, they didn't create this problem. Attorney General Pam Bondi didn't create this problem. But when you incarcerate people who have genetic damage, and those people get sick with the signature illness, and part of that signature illness is the loss of control of the adrenal gland, and these people show adrenaline toxicity, catecholamine toxicity. When they lose control of their adrenal gland, that adrenal gland will kill them. And if they're incarcerated, that liability is on the Bureau of Prisons. You can read in my letter to Attorney General Bondi. Personally, I think she should let them all go. Let everybody go. Okay, the Bureau of Prisons does not have the resources to take care of a massive population of genetically damaged people. They just don't have the resources. Okay, most of these people would not have committed their crime if it hadn't been for the genetic damage. Okay, those of you who have experienced opioid withdrawal, you realize you'll do about anything to get out of it. Okay, and that's what a lot of these people did. They did what they had to do to get out of opioid withdrawal. Okay, because they couldn't get help, they couldn't get a proper diagnosis, they couldn't get proper treatment, so they were just kind of left to the streets. They stole this, they stole that, they sold it for this. They got caught with fentanyl or heroin or whatever, and they were just doing what they had to do to survive. Okay, putting them in prison is serves no purpose whatsoever. And frankly, and I say again, the Bureau of Prisons doesn't have the resources. It's not even a question. The Bureau of Prisons doesn't have the resources. Okay, you talk about people with a profound genetic damage. I hate to say that to you guys, but it's a profound genetic damage, and it's a genetic damage to a fundamental component of the nervous system. Okay, the opioid receptor, everybody thinks of it as a pain receptor. It's way more than that. It's overseeing control between the two branches of the autonomic, not automatic. Automatic is a transmission that we stayed away from when I was growing up. Nobody wanted an automatic transmission. We wanted a manual transmission. We wanted a clutch. Okay, we wanted to pop that clutch and burn some rubber. But those are days gone by. There's a lot of fun though. It was a lot. Burning rubber on a pop clutch was it is a lot of fun. But we're not here to talk about that. You want to talk about an adrenaline rush? There you go. But anyway, we are not here to talk about my adolescent years. But let me go back to the point that the Bureau of Prisons just simply doesn't have the resources to oversee and take care of a vast number of people with a profound genetic damage who are experiencing a loss of control of their internal organs up to and including the adrenal gland. You lose control of your adrenal gland, you get a surge of adrenaline, and surge of adrenaline can kill you. It'll kill you with a catastrophic cardiovascular event such as a heart attack or a stroke or a ruptured aorta. Okay, and as you can see, I put all that in my letter to Attorney General Bondi. I encourage you to read it. It's right there on the screen. Okay, read that letter. And I even put on the letter the QR codes to the first and second citizens petition. Alex built those. Thank you, Alex. You guys would not be hearing my voice today without Alex. And as we grow, and we are going to grow, we're going to turn into a bigger podcast. Alex is going to be right there with us, and we will grow. As y'all have heard me say, I'm in the process of writing a book, and we want to sell as many of these books as we can. And the proceeds from the book will go and fund the first lawsuits that we will file for mass tort against the manufacturers and distributors of the opioids. And if the Bureau of Prisons is not careful, they're going to end up with a whole bunch of lawsuits also for wrongful deaths, wrongful diagnosis. Okay, when you're incarcerated, the Bureau of Prisons is responsible for your health care. You can't get in your car and drive to the doctor. Okay, you can't get in your car and drive to the hospital. You can't get in your car. You can't get out the door. Okay, that's why it's the Bureau of Prisons. So they're responsible for your health care. So if they misdiagnose you, it's a big deal. And if they misdiagnose you and you die from that, which I'm sure has happened to a significant number of people, they went into opioid withdrawal, they got adrenaline toxicity, they died from a catastrophic cardiovascular event. And when the lawyers figure this out, there's going to be a whole bunch of lawsuits. And frankly, if Rear Admiral Baina doesn't figure this out pretty quickly, that number is going to go up. And if he puts it off, now that he has knowledge of it, okay, you can't put this off, Rear Admiral Baina. You've got knowledge, and if you put it off, you're complicit. You became part of the problem, not part of the solution. But I'm going to do my best to work with him. I've written like 4 responses, all of which I've wadded up and thrown away. I will respond to him in writing. Of course, I will share that with our listeners. And by the way, I was in the middle of writing the and boy, I hope to have this finished by the end of next week. I was in the middle of writing the second letter to Attorney General Pam Bondi, recommending 3 people at the FDA for criminal negligence. They ignored the science, and almost 5 million people are dead because these people ignored the science. If that's not criminal negligence, I don't know what is. We'll be going into that more next week. We'll be reviewing those letters next week. Out of courtesy, I won't show the letters until I send them off to the Attorney General. I won't show drafts of the letters. I just don't think that's professional. But as soon as I get the letters out the door, I'll be sharing that with you guys. I've got some minor changes to the graphic, the FDA genocide, and I'm working on a second graphic of the numerous scientific studies that these people ignored, and that's where I think it's criminal negligence. Okay, they just flat out ignored these scientific studies. They just ignored them, and you can't do that. They did. You can't. They did, and 5 million people are dead. To put that in perspective, all the deaths from all the American wars combined, Revolutionary War, Civil War, Spanish-American War, World War I, World War II, Vietnam War, Korean War, Gulf War, all the wars combined, all the deaths combined are about 1 million deaths. And we're talking about 5 million deaths with the FDA genocide. So it's a huge issue. But that's what we'll be going into next week. I could ramble on for hours because I love talking to you guys. I just love it. Please send me an email or a text. I greatly appreciate all of them. I don't think Charles is with us today, so we'll close out the week without Charles. Don't forget to like and subscribe us. Don't forget to post this podcast on your social media and everybody else's social media. Let's get the word out there. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you guys next week. Bye-bye now.